In the heart of a busy estate in Nairobi, where the sound of madaras, music and people blends into one constant rhythm, a young man named Brian stood outside a small empty shop. The walls were rough, the floor unfinished, and the door slightly broken. To many, it looked like just another abandoned space. But to Brian, it was the beginning of something powerful. He had a dream of starting a barber shop, a place where people would not just come for a haircut, but for confidence, style, and a sense of belonging. Brian did not have much money. In fact, he had saved only about 50,000 Kenyan shillings from small hustles he had been doing over time. He had worked as a casual laborer, repaired phones occasionally, and even helped a friend in a salon. Every coin he earned, he saved with one goal in mind: to start his own barber shop business. The idea of a barber shop came from observation. Every day, Brian noticed that young men, students, and even older professionals were always looking neat. Haircuts were not a luxury, they were a necessity. Hair grows every week, and people want to maintain a clean look. That meant one thing: the demand would never end. It was a business that could sustain itself daily if done right. He decided to take the risk. The first thing he did was negotiate rent. The landlord asked for 10,000 Kenyan shillings per month and 2 months' deposit. That meant Brian had to pay 30,000 Kenyan shillings upfront. It was almost all his savings, but he knew location was everything. The shop was near a busy stage, a place where people passed every minute. That alone gave him confidence. After securing the shop, Brian had to think about equipment. A barber shop is not complete without tools. He bought his first clipper at 3,500 Kenyan shillings. It was not the best, but it was reliable. Then he bought a mirror for 2,000 Kenyan shillings, a simple chair for 6,000 Kenyan shillings, and basic items like combs, brushes, disinfectant, and aprons. By the time he finished setting up, he had spent almost all his money. The first day he opened the shop was quiet. Only 3 customers came. Each paid 100 Kenyan shillings. That meant he made 300 Kenyan shillings the entire day. It was discouraging, but Brian did not give up. He understood that building a business takes time. He decided to focus on quality service. Every customer who came, he treated them like a king. He talked politely, kept the place clean, and ensured every haircut was perfect. Slowly, word started spreading. One customer told another. Friends came together. Within 1 month, Brian was serving about 10 customers per day. At 150 Kenyan shillings per haircut, he was making about 1,500 Kenyan shillings daily. That was enough to cover rent, electricity, and still save something small. As time went by, Brian improved his skills. He spent time watching videos online, learning new styles like fades, designs, and beard shaping. Young customers loved modern styles. When he introduced trendy cuts, his business grew faster. He increased his price to 200 Kenyan shillings, and surprisingly, customers were still coming. This taught him a valuable lesson. People are willing to pay more for quality. After 6 months, Brian's shop had transformed. He added a second chair and hired a young barber who was also looking for an opportunity. Instead of paying him a fixed salary, they agreed to share earnings. This reduced pressure and increased productivity. Now, the shop could serve more customers at the same time. On a good day, they served about 20 customers. At an average of 200 Kenyan shillings per haircut, the shop made about 4,000 Kenyan shillings daily. In 1 month, that translated to over 100,000 Kenyan shillings. After expenses, Brian was making a profit of about 60,000 Kenyan shillings. For a business that started with only 50,000 Kenyan shillings, this was a huge success. But Brian did not stop there. He understood that a barber shop is not just about cutting hair. It is about experience. He bought a television for 15,000 Kenyan shillings and installed it in the shop. Customers could now watch football while waiting. He also added a small sound system that played music. The environment became lively and attractive. He also introduced new services: beard grooming at 100 Kenyan shillings extra, hair dyeing at 500 Kenyan shillings, facial cleaning at 300 Kenyan shillings. These small additions increased his income significantly. Some customers would come for a haircut and end up paying over 500 Kenyan shillings for multiple services. Marketing also played a big role. Brian opened a social media page where he posted photos of his work. Clean fades, sharp lines, and happy customers. People started recognizing his brand. Some customers even traveled from far just to get a haircut from his shop. This showed the power of visibility and consistency. Within 1 year, Brian had achieved something many people only dream about. He opened a second branch in another estate. This time he was more experienced. He knew what worked and what did not. The second shop grew even faster than the first one. He hired trained barbers, maintained high standards, and ensured both shops had the same quality service. Brian's story is not unique. It is a reflection of what is possible in Kenya today. The barber shop business is not just about cutting hair. It is about discipline, customer service, and understanding people. Anyone can start, but not everyone succeeds. The difference lies in consistency and the willingness to learn. There are challenges, of course. Electricity costs can rise. Some days may be slow. Competition can increase. But even with these challenges, the business remains one of the most stable small ventures. As long as people care about their appearance, barber shops will always have customers. For anyone thinking about starting a barber shop in Kenya, the journey begins with a simple decision. Start smaller, focus on quality, treat customers well, improve your skills every day, reinvest your profits. With time, the small shop you start today can grow into a strong and respected business. In the end, success in this business is not just measured by money. It is measured by the smiles of satisfied customers, the loyalty of returning clients, and the impact you create in your community. A barber shop can change lives, not just yours, but also the people you employ and serve. Brian still stands outside his first shop sometimes, looking at how far he has come. The broken door is now replaced with a glass entrance. The rough walls are painted with style. The empty space is now full of life. And every day, as customers walk in and out, he is reminded of one simple truth. Every big business starts small, but with belief and hard work, it can grow into something extraordinary.